visual merchandising is an emotional job is that people work for people. And that no matter how much you know, no matter how talented you are, if you are a difficult person to work with, that will carry onto your name forever.
Hello， 大家好，我是打滚国际时尚圈，帮助提升国际职场竞争力的白玉。今天呢，职业探勘系列的节目内容特别企划，邀请到我在纽约的前主管、国际时装品牌 Max 的资深视觉陈列师 Katrina Gomez 来跟大家分享这集节目的精彩内容。这次的采访呢，将分3个部分做介绍。第一部分呢是视觉陈列师的工作形态以及经验分享。第二部分呢是国际时装品牌征才的必要条件。第3部分呢是后疫情时代的来临，视觉陈列师的未来发展性。
Hi Katrina, thank you so much for sparing your precious time here. So before we officially start our interview, let me introduce our special guest, Katrina Gomez. She is a well-experienced senior visual merchandiser in Max, who used to be one of my favorite supervisors when I work in New York. She has more than 12 years of experience in visual merchandising and retailing management. I'm very pleased and honored to invite her to my channel to share her personal career insights to you guys. Thank you, Katrina.
Hi, Schwan. Thanks so much for having me.
So here I have prepared several questions for our interview today. Are you ready for that?
Let's get it done.
My first question is, how did you step into the fashion world? Like, did you study visual merchandising or like any relevant to the visual merchandising in college?
I actually graduated from City College in New York with a double major in studio art and psychology. I did a lot of odd jobs in college, working at a film festival, working in museums, teaching art to toddlers, working in high schools, and also holding a job in many different retail stores. So while I was going to college, I kind of always was networking. Even after college, I kind of always kept my feelers out. And eventually I just worked myself up in the industry, just by working really hard, and really just kind of climbing towards it and just applying. So I was really lucky.
You seem to have a diverse experience in the past. Would you like to talk more about it?
I worked at, just to name some companies, I've worked at Anthropologie before, which I'm sure some of your fellow YouTubers know. Then I jumped to work through a French boutique that's under fast retailing. So I had a really strong regimen and training through that. And I did a lot of visuals during my time there. Me just being a visual person to start, I've always been inspired, setting stuff up, planning. I'm very lesson oriented, as Schwan knows. I love to teach.
Yeah.
I was a teacher for a really long time, about 4 years teaching children as a part-time job. And also I volunteered with art and crafts in my community with tiny little children since young. So that also has helped me network. It's just me always being active in the arts as well. And like I said, climbing up, making connections, and people work for people. So just really make an impression on people, which I've been so lucky to have.
Cool, amazing. So here my second question is, could you share with us what the role of visual merchandiser is like? Like, how do you like it?
First and foremost, it is so fulfilling to have a job that you love. I love what I do. It's not saying that it's easy, but it is a very, very rewarding and challenging job. I would say that a visual merchandiser's role is to play Sudoku with all the product that you have in a store. So as a visual merchandiser, you have to use all your crayons to paint a picture for the consumer. Especially in the world that we are in now, it is all about optimizing that client experience in person. People are online shopping, so when they're out in the wilderness, as I call retail now, you really have to grab someone's attention with your message. You really have to have an interaction with the client and the product, and also kind of emit this emotion that is going to make people make that impulsive buy. It's not about, oh, okay, let me see if it's cheaper online anymore. It's, oh my God, I have to have this. Let me buy this now.
Yeah, it sounds like it's another way of marketing, but in a visual way, right?
It's exactly, I think, what it is. It's funny, I've never seen myself as like a marketer, but the more and more I talk to my friends that are actually copywriters and marketers, it's all branding. It's just to make sure that the image that you're aligning follows suit in person. So there are just online marketers. I am that visually by setting up the total client experience, as you would say, for sure.
Okay, so my next question is, what are your responsibilities as a visual merchandiser in the fashion brand?
My main job is to uphold the brand image by pushing forward the initiatives as a company that we need in order to make business. Every decision I make is not based on beauty. It is only based and pushed by numbers. We look into analyzing. We have a lot of meetings with people within our own company. All visual merchandisers do. We are the first hands to go into a store, and we are the last hands. And you just follow kind of the plan that we have you, or the dream, to get romantic, that we have in store for you.
So it sounds like you have to merge all the different skill sets in order to make the customer have the good shopping experience. You have to analyze the statistics, that you also have to have the shop aesthetic eyes in order to present something beautiful, right? And
exactly.
That is represent to the brand image. It's not just about your personal feeling, but you have to like fully understand what the brand image wants to convey.
Exactly. I think it's also depending on market. And by market, I mean the region where your store, because we're specifically talking about stores here, where your store would be. And also if it is point of sale are they in? Is it a department store or is it a brick and mortar store? If you're in a department store, you might have to either merchandising a little bit more commercial, depending on a lot of factors, right? Yeah. Depending on your buy, depending on who's around you, depending on what collection or what brand you are merchandising. We're constantly thinking, right? We're constantly thinking, we're constantly projecting, and conveying whatever message us as a company need to push forward to appease our clients and also to drive the business.
Yeah, it also sounds like making the connection with the customer is the most important things. Like what you just said, like if you're in a department store, you need to have a different strategy in visual design. But if you're in the boutique, you need to follow another rule in order to catch the eyes from the customers, right?
For sure. In New York alone, you have a lot of different points of sale. Even in different department stores, things are merchandised differently. You have Saks and Bloomingdale's and even Bergdorf, and you'll have 3 different merchandising because it all depends on the clientele.
Okay, so my next question is, so we know that when the fashion brands recruit new talents, they tend to hire people that have the experience in the similar markets. And I noticed that you have a very rich and diverse experience in not only the high-end fashion, but also the mass market brands. Can you share with us like how you break through the ceiling and earn yourself a position in upper market?
I've said it before, and I think that this is something that's really benefited me, especially since visual merchandising is an emotional job, is that people work for people, and that no matter how much you know, no matter how talented you are, if you are a difficult person to work with,
Yes.
that will carry onto your name forever. So it is about listening and learning, knowing that you don't know everything. And I think that my humbleness and my eagerness to constantly learn from others has really benefited me. And I think that that is one of the reasons why I have moved up so quickly. I'm a really humble human being. I was honored for you to ask me to do this talk, so thank you. And I think that that's just something that, especially this new Gen Z generation, really needs to take, is that you don't know everything, honey.
Yeah.
Listen and learn. And please go into every interview just with open, eager eyes, instead of just being like, I can do this for you. Companies don't want to hear that. They do want to hear that, but they want to know that their vision and their teachings align with your personality as well.
Wow, that sounds really amazing. I mean, I have goosebumps when I hear your speech in this part. I have so much connection with that mindset as well. That's all I believe as well. Yeah, like when you work in the industry, you represent yourself, like what you did, how do you interact with your colleagues. It's part of your resume. Cool.
So I think that that's something we all have to remember, especially going into this new world.
Okay, my next question is, you have mentored so many interns and new talents in the company every year. From your perspective, what kind of personal traits are preferable and what attitudes they should retain when they work as a junior position in Max Mara? How would you pick up the talents?
Well, for any company, really. It's not even at the company that I work for now. I think that ultimately what people want is talent, and they want to know that you will work hard and you are willing to go that extra mile. But one of the most important things is that you are teachable and that you listen before you ask questions. That it is almost important to be in the lecture of the teaching, right? When you start, I know that a lot of people are overeager, especially our younger interns or the younger interns that I have had are eager to learn, and they kind of want to run and they want to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
But I'm a professional. I get paid to do this, so their suggestions are always considered.
Yes.
But it's almost like, let me teach you about the colors before you start painting your Picasso. To wrap it up, I think that students that are applying for internships need to know that, one, they will contribute to the conversation, but first and foremost, kind of take a step back, learn, and then ask your questions, just like how you do in a lecture.
I agree with that. Okay, so my next part of question is something relevant to the post-pandemic era, because we know the retailing world has been drastically shifted. According to the reports on Business of Fashion, a lot of brands are planning to reduce their proportion of the physical stores and elevate their online shopping experiences, as well as the e-commerce exposures. What do you think about this trend?
I think that fast fashion will be definitely affected. I think luxury will take less of a blow, ultimately, because there will always be a market. But I do think that there is a lot of things we need to consider. Markets, we are in a really shaky world right now, where we are competing with the small amount of traffic that we are getting in store. So we really have to be reactive to trends, to traffic, and forecasting even weather and clientele, and seeing how we can react, because each market is its own ecosystem now. It's not how it used to be. So it's just about reacting and reinforcing what market we can hold there.
Do you think luxury brands are going to reduce their amount of physical stores and causing visual merchandising job less competitive?
I think it's going to be more competitive than ever. A visual merchandiser job, even though there might be some layoffs globally, I think that can definitely be a translatable job because earlier we spoke about it being marketing. And if you go on Instagram, some of the heaviest marketing you've ever seen in your life. And some of the most creative people. And it's just about being a life stylist.
I also think that for people who are interested in the visual design or visual merchandising, like in the post-pandemic era, you definitely have to integrate your skill sets with technology. Like, how do you transform your message through the internet? Like, how do you take good pictures and then make the image like really fascinating on the Instagram or whatever platform that you use to connect with your customers? Because I see a lot of brands, they started to push really hard through the social media. Yeah. Okay, I think that's almost our last questions.
Oh wow,
very fast.
That was fast.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Katrina, for sharing these amazing insights to our audiences. I believe that they have learned so much from your sharing.
Oh, thank you so much. Good luck to all of you. And remember, people work for people.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Katrina. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Bye.
那今天的影片就分享到这边，你对视觉陈列师有兴趣吗？还是你想要进入国际精品工作呢？欢迎在下方留言，让白玉知道你的想法。喜欢我的影片，请记得帮我订阅跟点赞哦，开启订阅按钮旁边的小铃铛，才不会错过节目下一集的精彩内容。我们下次见，拜。